What is up, guys? This is Tristan, aka Young Pressure, and today I'm going over what I'd do different if I started my pressure washing business right now. This is all free game, free value. I want to see you guys make as much money as possible, so I'm going over all of this, what I would have done differently so that I could have made the most money during those times. So the first thing is I wouldn't have spent a lot of money on equipment at first. I would have found something on Facebook Marketplace. I see a lot of people in the industry, they go and get a $20,000 rig. I'm not saying I did that, but I spent, probably $3,000 on a piece of equipment that I didn't need. And I would have done definitely a different route. I would have gone to Facebook Marketplace. I would have found something cheaper and definitely done that. I don't think you have to get a lot of equipment initially. Just get something that can do the job. You can find it on Facebook Marketplace or something along those lines at a garage sale or anything like that. Just don't spend a lot of money on equipment. The second thing is there was a lot of just miscellaneous expenses that I paid for, whether that was O-rings or ball valves or just maintenance perspective. And I would have learned more about the industry beforehand. I just jumped into it, which can be a good thing. I really don't regret it at all, but if I would have learned a little bit more about the industry, it would have probably saved me thousands of dollars in just business expenses and just a ton of miscellaneous expenses that I didn't know. And if you can learn more about the industry, put yourself into these Facebook groups, go through my videos, go through YouTube, you'll find out and be much more efficient when you're starting off. The third thing is that I would have definitely found a mentor sooner. Find someone that you could trust, or just reach out on Facebook. You could reach out to YouTube if you envision me as of some sort. But I found a buddy out in North Carolina through a reference of one of my very close friends months later before I started. That was definitely a huge factor on how I was able to scale it to right now 2 trucks. But finding someone that you can talk to and communicate with effectively about the business, whether that's a mentor, whether that's with a buddy or anything like that, just surround yourself and congregate yourself within like-minded individuals. I didn't do that at first. I just jumped into it. And then months later, I was like, yeah, I really got to find some people. And guys, I really do appreciate if you're watching the YouTube videos. I want to make these as extremely valuable as possible so that you can learn anything through my mistakes and ultimately make you guys as profitable as possible. So I really do appreciate you guys. Just want to let you guys know that. But my next point is allocate more money to marketing. Instead of putting it into the $25,000 rig, put it into signs, put it into door hangers. Find out what gets leads for you, because I get so many comments. How do you do advertising? How can you get jobs? How can you do this? If you can master that, you can master the industry and basically allocate more money into marketing, whether that's $5,000, $10,000, whatever, $2,000. Find out what works and do those things. I've got a ton of videos over it, but allocate more money into marketing. That's what I definitely would have done initially. The next point is that you got to talk to everyone and say that you're in business. Talk to everyone, because you never know, guys. You never know who you are talking to. It could be a guy that is trying to get out of the business. He wants to sell it to you. But it was a year later into my pressure washing business endeavor that I really started to network with people. And whenever you network with people, your net worth does grow a little bit. And I've seen a substantial amount of revenue increase and just sales increase just by knowing people and figuring out what they do. When you can expand your network and tell everyone, just talk to everyone, whether that's with the hot girl at the grocery store, whether that's with the old man at Chipotle, just talk to everyone. Just if you could build that charisma, it will ultimately help you so much in business, because the business is ran by people, not by you. So it's ran by people, not you. And if you can treat those guys right and talk to everyone and work with people, then you're going to stay in business for a long time. I guarantee you that. Next point is you want to be yourself, not anyone else. This is how you can differentiate yourself within everyone else. Because at first I was like trying to be this ultimate salesman. I was trying to be very kind of stiff and robotic. But I found out that didn't give me the greatest results. When I was myself, I was my natural charisma, I was my natural personality, I was able to relate to the customer much more. They understood me. When customers can understand you, you can understand them. You're going to be able to solve their problem much easier. And no one wants to be sold by a robot. You want to be yourself. And people like buying off of you. So if you're trying to emulate someone else, if you're trying to emulate a salesman, I would highly advise you to just be yourself. Maybe take some tactics into your realm, but definitely be your personality, because your charisma, your persona is so much different than everyone else, which can basically put you apart from your competitors. Next point is a mindset trick, is that you don't need the money. And it'll put less pressure on yourself, because whenever you need the money, you're never going to get the money. It's like talking to a very attractive girl. Whenever you need the girl, she's going to be like, this guy is a chaotic weirdo. He's a freaking weirdo. But when she's like, oh, this guy's not interested in me, he's hot. It's the same way with these customers. If you are perceived as you don't need the money, you're just solving their problem, it's going to put less pressure on yourself, it's going to put less pressure on the customer, and they're going to be more likely to buy from you. So that's just a mindset trick that I wish I had earlier, because I was really stressing over like, hey, money, 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 money. But you're really just there to solve a problem. And when you could just be yourself, put less pressure on yourself because you don't need the money particularly right now, then you're going to really succeed in this business. I wholeheartedly guarantee you that. And then the next thing is, on these down months, whether that's with summer, recognize your market. What are the down months? Find commercial work for those down months. Find the hot months for residential. Find the hot months for commercial. And what you could do is, usually residential is primarily my business, but with commercial, I put it in the colder months of residential, so it equalizes the year in totality, and it makes it a lot smoother. Because the first full year in business, I was just so stressing out about, gosh, I'm just, it was just this downturn of residential work, and my residential and commercial were just all in the same month, so I decided to just push the commercial back onto those slower months, and it's really made it less stressful. So I wish I would have known that initially. But guys, let me regurgitate all of these back to you. I wouldn't have spent a lot of money on equipment. Find something on Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of miscellaneous expenses I paid for. I would have learned just more about the industry. You could do that on Facebook groups. You could go through my YouTube. You could do all that stuff. Find a mentor, just someone that you trust, whether that's with me or just a friend. Reach out on Facebook. Network with people, find a buddy, and you guys could talk about it, grow with each other, allocate more money to marketing, talk to everyone, and say you're in business. The more people that you expand, the business is going to run off of people, not just yourself. But be yourself, not anyone else. Don't try to emulate a robot. Be yourself, not anyone else. This is going to be how you differentiate yourself. No, you don't need the money, so it'll put less pressure on yourself. Then find commercial work on the down months. But guys, this is what I would have done differently if I started my pressure washing business now. I really don't have regrets. I love looking back at it, and I was just thinking to myself, are you proud of this guy? And I'd be like, yeah, probably. But I just jumped in, and I think that's the best thing is just go and do and learn. Keep learning, keep expanding your learning realm of this stuff, because it will happen. But guys, I really do appreciate you guys. And if you like this type of video, I go over in the next video on how to make a ton of money in the pressure washing business, just the schematics of it. You guys should take a look at it. I'm going to smack dab it in the middle of the screen. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.